The headlines tonight on Dateline 2018. We brave the sandy shores where newsmen fear to tread the Mediterranean.
But not the cheap package holiday Torremolinos bit, oh no, Israel.
And with Donald Trump leaving the UK somehow in a worse state than he found it, his idiot son joins us to discuss the disaster that's been the Putin summit.
And as another World Cup passes into memory, so too does its greatest fan. We look back on the life, the legend, the man whose death brought a smile to so many, Harry Spring.
Like a passenger plane 50 miles from its destination with only 20 miles worth of fuel on board.
This is Dateline 2018.
Good evening and welcome to this edition of Dateline 2018. Israel. What can you say about Israel?
Well, not much if you're a television news broadcaster.
Or indeed a cheaply made online satire show.
Which we are not.
No, we're the first one of those two things.
So to be clear, we're not going to do Israel.
No, it's a minefield.
Bits of it are literally a minefield.
We're not doing it. No way.
We're not doing Israel.
Alright, fine, we'll do Israel.
By which we mean Collette Coleman's going to do Israel.
Nestled in the heart of the Arabian desert, where Africa meets Asia, sits the ancestral home of a bunch of old white guys. Seems legit? Fortunately for its inhabitants, the area formerly and currently known as Israel was completely uninhabited for hundreds of years, and so made for relatively easy pickings. During the intervening years, however, archaeologists and historians have developed a controversial theory that the place was in fact fucking packed with people. Couldn't move for the bastards. Had houses, jobs, families, infrastructure. It was a country called Palestine. But as I say, it's just a theory, and a controversial one at that. Economists continue to be mystified at how a country in the middle of a desert, in the only bit without any oil, manages to sustain a growing economy. Cartographers, however, are even more mystified at the country's unprecedented, year-on-year geographical growth, for which the only explanation is literally magic. In an attempt to slow the peaceful geographical growth of the not-made-up country that is Israel, rabble-rousing ne'er-do-wells have cynically blockaded its borders by building villages and towns and living in them for hundreds of years. Yes, there really is no level to which these people won't stoop.
Bad to the bone. Bad to the bone. Bad.
Thankfully, with the generous support of countries like the United States and this United Kingdom, though in fairness not many others, Israel has developed technology to safely and humanely move these towns and villages out of view. Unfortunately though, due to the shoddy Palestinian building methods, the bulldozers tend to just flatten the houses, forcing the Israeli army to shoot any survivors, including women, children, aid workers and journalists. Oh yes, and the UN. This is Collette Coleman for Dateline. Oh wait, doctors. They've definitely killed doctors too. Collette Coleman for Dateline 2018 in a secret location nowhere near Israel.
Collette Coleman there, who sent us that report from the Crown Plaza in Tel Aviv, Suite 312. Now, as Collette touched on during her report there, Israel has often been accused by its critics of using indiscriminate force, but all that might be about to come to an end, as I believe James is about to explain.
Yes, Jack, it's all thanks to the UK arms manufacturer DeathTech, who've announced a multi-billion-dollar deal in super advanced smart bombs capable of pinpoint accuracy. And DeathTech CEO Derek Butcher joins us now from Charnock Richards. Thank you for speaking with us today, Mr. Butcher. For those of us unfamiliar with these state-of-the-art killing machines, could you explain what's so special about these so-called smart bombs?
Well, they're specifically designed to hit very small targets, yeah? And they're the most accurate bombs that we've ever had the pleasure of making.
When you say small targets, what sort of thing are we talking about there?
Oh, approximately 3.5 to 4 feet tall.
3.5 to 4 feet tall. I'm sorry, maybe I'm just not as well versed in war, but what might those targets be?
Legitimate, yeah. Military, targets.
Forgive me, but I'm struggling to imagine anything other than really small soldiers?
Yeah, well, small soldiers, yeah.
But 3.5 to 4 feet. Don't armies generally have a minimum height requirement for soldiers? It's a bit taller than that.
There's meant to be a minimum age as well, isn't it? But that don't let that bother us, innit?
I'm sorry, Mr. Butcher. It doesn't matter what way you put it. The only thing that matches your description here is children. You're surely not saying...
Hands up, Governor. You got me there. You got me there, ain't ya? Yeah, well, let's face it. They're easy to hit, innit? Yeah, and they're not armed. I mean, who wants to pick a fight with a tank, innit? When you can just pick on a...
Well, I can think of lots of reasons, but...
The wee blighters.
Wee blighters? What's that accent supposed to be?
Cockney through and through, mate.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Born not far from the Bobos themselves.
Well, the new ones, the actual Bobels were destroyed in the war.
I mean, you can still hear them, though. I can still hear them.
Yeah, that's probably just tinnitus.
No?
CEO of Death Tech, Derek Butcher. Thank you.
Nice one.
This
Is Dateline
2018.
or is it? US President Donald Trump has been in the news this week after he announced that Russia is better than America, specifically their security services, which Trump genuinely, not a joke, he actually did effectively say the FSB was more trustworthy than the CIA. Smooth operator or out-and-out traitor, you be the judge. It's the second one. But no one was expecting the frankly surreal announcement he made just after leaving Russia, a decree that the American people must henceforth wear socks with sandals. And with me on the line now from wherever it is he is that pain-in-the-arse son of Trump's, Donald Trump Jr. Thanks for coming on, Jr. Look, your father isn't known for being a fashionista, but he's got some smart people around him. Surely he realises that socks and sandals is a no-no. I mean, there's no argument for that combination. What's more, did he really need to announce it in such an ostentatious way, hanging out of the window of Air Force One as it came into land?
If you look at any of the issues that he's spoken about, he'll talk about them in a way that no one else has spoken about them. He'll take them to a certain level, and guess what?
I can't. What?
An issue that was taboo or no one wanted to touch, all of a sudden, people are actually talking about it. So it's not that it's an act, but sometimes he does have to talk about things in a certain way to be able to draw the requisite attention that that topic actually needs.
I promise you, this idea has no traction. No one is going to be persuaded just because Donald Trump says it.
He says it, 3 weeks later, everyone else, once he's taken all the heat, once he's taken all the criticism, once he's taken all of that, then everyone else jumps on and says, hey, wait a minute, this is actually a winning idea. This is something that makes a lot of sense.
I'm sorry, nope. You're wrong.
Why should a couple people who are establishment elitists get to go on beautiful vacations? I mean, he could send his private plane and take them down to Durrell. They could play golf for a week and then we win their...
This has nothing to do with anything.
That's not the way this country should be run, Jake.
It's Jack. And there are rules about how you wear sandals. And the rule says no socks. Don't you agree with the rules on sandals?
They made sense 200 years ago when everyone lived on a farm in the middle of nowhere. But I have the Library of Congress in my iPhone.
You don't. That's a stupid and utterly irrelevant thing to say. Can somebody please take this man's face off the screen before I have to gouge out my retinas? Little Trump, goodbye.
It's my pleasure, Jake. Thank you for having me.
My name is Jack!
Jake Foster there.
This is Dateline 2018. You can tweet or follow us on Instagram at Dateline 2018 and we're on facebook.com/Dateline.
Feel absolutely free to tweet us anything because we've turned off notifications, so it makes no odds to us.
We'll return now to a story from earlier in the programme as more information comes in regarding what we understand to be a deadly shark attack off the coast of Mallorca.
Relatives back home have not yet been informed of the identity of the victim, but we can exclusively tell you that it was a woman in her early 30s, although it took me some persuading. She's got a lot of mileage on her, if you know what I'm saying. Ms. Sheila Anderson from a little village just outside Chichester called Bumhole.
And we're extremely lucky to be joined on the phone by Sheila's surviving sister, Beth, who witnessed the complete and agonising 40-minute ordeal which brought their holiday of a lifetime in Mallorca to an abrupt end. Beth, thank you for talking to us. You must be in bits. No, sorry, I mean you must be in pieces. I mean,
yes,
it must be awful.
It's the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life.
I can imagine. I mean, you must just want to forget about the whole ordeal, Beth.
Yes, I can't even talk about it.
You're gonna have to talk about it with us though, Beth. Walk us through the experience. Paint us a picture with your words.
I don't know if I can. I'm still in shock.
You're gonna have to, Beth. This is the news and we're kind of up against it a bit here.
Yeah, we've got a better bit coming up in a minute. You really got to hurry up.
My sister's dead.
Yes, we know. Look, Beth, we're gonna need you to relive the entire ordeal for our entertainment. I mean journalism.
There was a shark.
What size was the shark? Was it like Jaws?
What? I don't know it.
Did either of you at any point say the phrase, "We're going to need a bigger boat"?
No, why would her blood still floating on the water? I can smell
In fact, could you say it now?
Say what?
We could have done with a bigger boat.
Why?
It'd be really good if you could say, we could have done with a bigger boat.
Yeah, we can use it for the trails.
Just say it really quickly.
We could have done with a bigger boat.
Beth Anderson, who lost her sister less than an hour ago. Glad to see she's already starting to see the funny side.
Thanks to us, she's already on the road to recovery.
Could have done with a bigger boat, that's good.
That is good, we're going to use that. So let's see her laughing again.
Tragic news now for sports fans. The World Cup is over, which should have meant the return of our dedicated World Cup correspondent Harry Spring to the UK, though not to his wife, because she chucked him.
But we've received some distressing news from authorities in Moscow who inform us that Harry Spring's body was discovered during the early hours of this morning, having died of heatstroke after being locked inside the Dateline 2018 news van for a full 24 hours. Police are not treating the incident as suspicious, despite CCTV footage showing his producer gluing the van's lock shut and laughing through the window for 2.25 hours. Our obituary correspondent, PJ Duncan, looks back now at the life of Harry Spring.
Born in Tan Hill in the Yorkshire Dales during the olden days, in the place where the Hoversids were done probably, Harry was a lonely child, despite being surrounded by a household of brothers and sisters. He developed an adult man's sweat glands by the age of 6, was shaving by 7 and losing most of his hair by 8. At the age of 18, Harry left for the bright lights of Bolton to kickstart his career in sports journalism. Unfortunately, due to his crippling anxiety and hatred of the camera and inability to write well, the best he managed was a job behind the counter at Woolworths. But it wasn't until 2018 when he finally got his only break.
He's football crazy, he's Harry Spring. Harry, what's the mood like over there?
Hello and welcome to Stalingrad.
After sending Dateline 2018 an audition video of Gary Lineker, he took advantage of our trust in nature, our lax interview techniques and absence of background checks, and was offered the role of dedicated World Cup correspondent.
I knew he was a thief, a liar. His criminal past was actually the subject of a report that I had done when I was early in my career.
I knew more about football than Harry Spring, and quite frankly, I don't know a penalty from a scrum.
Yes, we were at a gala event once and he licked my wife.
I didn't meet him, but actually I did see him once. He was punching a very small child. It was unacceptable.
Oh, he's fat, oh, crazy, he's fat, oh, man.
Since Harry Spring's passing, the world of sport has been quick to respond.
It's not my kind of cup of tea. I find him really irritating.
No, I've never met him.
No, I think it's just,
you know, I don't think I'll be over the moon to shake hands with him.
yeah, I just felt it was a little bit too casual.
After his death, the Russian president Vladimir Putin made a statement.
Существует. Возникает вопрос, а зачем? Ответ только один. Что бы там ни говорили, это инструмент внешней политики Соединенных Штатов.
Despite his innumerable enemies, 2 of Harry's closest friends paid a warm tribute to a man who'll be forgotten in a week.
He's unbelievably smart, and smart enough so that he doesn't come across as unbelievably smart. He just comes across as a decent guy.
Memories like the corners of my mind.
What possessed her?
The full-size one?
There's no way she's giving a job.
No way.
PJ Duncan there, that heartfelt tribute to the guy from, you know, the football guy.
From last week?
Yeah, that guy. Well, once they start to flower, you need to have, like, water them for 15 minutes
Look,
a
I
day.
think I know a thing or two about growing potatoes, James.
Well, if you need to, once they're flowering, you need to put water on them, otherwise the spuds aren't going to grow.
Yeah, a little bit of water, that's all you need to do, not 15 minutes. That's
you need
mental.
15 minutes.
Yeah,
Otherwise they say, well, what happened last year? Did you have big potatoes last year?
What if it rains, though?
Yeah, but you're fine if it rains. Well, you don't have to go watering if it rains. I'm just trying to help, man.
Oh, you're getting all this? Getting it all down, yeah? Listening into other people's
eavesdroppers.
Private conversations.
Disgusting.